Hi guys, it's Elisa and I'm back today for another video. So today's video is actually going to be kind of a remake of an old one that I made about 3 years ago, and it actually ended up doing very well. So the video is called I Broke Up With Her and I Regret It. I made a few videos about this, and most of the time if you see like multiple of the same topics on my channel, it's because they're requested. So like two people will have like the same situation, like the girl left her, or like he left the girl, how does he get her back? But like slight differences, so I'll make like a video for each of them. So that's why there's like multiple videos on the same subject. But this one was for a friend at the time who is doing very well now, in case you're wondering. But the video ended up doing very well, which is ironic because in the beginning I was like, it's probably isn't gonna like do too well, so as long as I help somebody. But it did do well, and I have a bunch of really nice comments on it. You know, I haven't really gotten any negative feedback from it, except from myself. So this video, I hate it. I'll be honest. Like, normally I'll look back at my old videos and I'll be like, alright, you tried. But with this one, like, I hate it. Like, I tried rewatching it the other day and I was like, ugh. Like, I wanted to delete it, but like, it was doing well and it was helping some people. But, you know, I grew up a lot more since that video. I mean, it's been 3 years, and I was a freshman in college. I had just started my psychology degree at that point. Like, I was very knowledgeable about the stuff that I was talking about, but some of the examples that I was giving to y'all, it wasn't really, like, accurate. Like, I made a statement somewhere that was like, once a girl moves on from you, she's completely moved on. Like, that is true sometimes, but I really should have been more exclusive and been like, you know, most of the time this is a thing and other times it's not. Like, I think now when I make my videos, I'm more lenient towards like a gray area. It's not as black or white as it was back when I was 18. So today I'm going to remake that video with a bunch more knowledge. So I'm not like changing my views on anything that I said. I still believe everything that I said in that video, but I definitely want to be more concrete and more provide more reasoning for the ways that I think the way I do. So I'm just gonna like kind of start from scratch, but at this point, like some background info. I'm 22. I turned 23 this year. I'm in a long distance / long-term relationship for almost 2 years. Like, I'm fine and I'm doing well, but I'm still like in this industry where I help people and stuff, so I hear stories from everyone, and I kind of know, you know, I feel more confident talking about the things that I talk about now. So starting from scratch, the topic is I broke up with her and I regret it. So everything I'm going to be saying is input that I've gathered from people, like from my comments, from my messages, DMs, all that stuff, plus just like from a psychology standpoint. I don't even know where to start because it's so different for everybody. Like, these videos are not a one-size-fits-all. So if you do have a subject that you want me to talk about, like, please message me and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So if you left her and you regret it, there are a couple things that you first off the bat need to look at. And this is like gonna be so difficult to do, but I'm just gonna start talking and try to make it as wide net as possible. So the first thing is, how long has it been since y'all have been broken up? You need to be self-aware during this time, because if you're not self-aware, you're gonna end up hurting yourself and you're gonna end up hurting her. So the first thing you need to look at is how long has it been. If it's been a couple days, a couple weeks, chances are it's just a withdrawal. Withdrawals are completely natural. Even if you didn't really like love the person, like, you can like totally be with someone that you love but not be in love with. You know, there's definitely like those people who like you love to have in your life and like you would take a bullet for them and like you love this person, but when it comes down to it, you're just not in love with them. But when y'all break up, you can still feel those withdrawals, because it's not really like, you don't need to be in love with someone to feel withdrawals, you know, like even if you lose a best friend and you still feel those withdrawals, or you lose a professor because you graduated, or like you changed classes, like you always feel withdrawals from people because it's connection based, it's not love based, you know. However, if you are in love with someone, that's a different story, but right now most of the time withdrawals are connection based. So you need to be honest about what you're feeling. the first thing anybody ever needs to do is evaluate their feelings. There are so many different kinds of feelings that we experience during a breakup, and as soon as we feel anything, we just confuse it with, oh, I should get her back. I should get him back. Like, I'm gonna go back. Like, we don't even really think about it. We just feel something and we're uncomfortable with it, and we're kind of like trained to believe that discomfort is not okay to feel. So we do the first thing that we do the first, wow, I'm sorry, I have not had enough caffeine today as I normally do, and it's showing. So the first thing that we think we need to do is just run back to the person in order to restore those feelings of familiarity, which isn't okay because it's very destructive. And like I said in my old video, and this is like something that I strongly still stand with, is if they leave you once, they'll leave you again. I know there are couples who have broken up once and they've been together ever since and they're fine. That's great, but y'all are the minority. Most of the time, you know, if you leave someone, you come back, you leave again. You know, that's what happened to me when I was in high school. It's what happened to one of my closest friends. It's what happened to like a bunch of my friends, actually. That's just like a thing. So people go back to people because they just can't cope with those feelings of discomfort. A lot of the time, you know, people really do need to see what they're missing. I personally don't stand by that as strongly as other people do. Like, I don't think you need to leave someone in order to see like how much you want them in your life. I can see why people think that way, and I guess it's just circumstantial. It depends on who you are as a person, what you believe in. But everyone's different in that aspect. But sometimes, like, when people break up, they're like, oh, I don't like this, we should get back together. So the first thing is evaluate yourself. Why are you feeling this way? Look at a couple aspects. How long have y'all been together? What was keeping y'all together? Were y'all together because it was convenient? Do y'all share a kid? Do you share a house? Do you live together, like in the same room or in the same complex, in the same city? Like, why were you with them? Was it a choice, or was it because you just felt like you needed to? You know, at the end of the day, like, love really is a choice. It doesn't work on its own. You can have like the most strong, overpowering feelings ever, but if you don't act on it or put effort into it, it's not gonna work. Like, it's a choice that you have to make every single day. So and as you notice, like, this video is not, so I noticed that the reason why my old video was resonating with so many males was because I was giving them so much hope and so much optimism, which in the moment was like pumping them up. I was like, yeah, you gotta get her back before that door closes. And they were probably like sitting behind their computers like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And like, that's why I think the video did well. And to be honest, like, I was kind of hyping myself up when I was watching. I was like, okay, all right, but you know, and in a way that's kind of true, but it really just depends on like hundreds of factors. So going back to the main lesson of my other video was like, how do you know if you should get her back? Well, like I said, evaluate your feelings. Why did y'all break up? Did you break up because of an actual, like, real reason that was causing destruction, like cheating? I believe that once a cheater, always a cheater. I do believe in that. I do. Come at me, I don't care, attack me, my arms are open. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Even if they're not physically cheating, I feel like once they cheat on you, it's always just going to be like, because of that's just like how their brain works. That's just how they emotionally operate, is that they think it's just okay to cross boundaries and they'll just be more sneaky. Like, I've always believed in that. I'm pretty like lenient on most subjects, but with that I'm not. So if you broke up with someone because they cheated, that's a pretty big deal. Or like, if you had trust issues, or that you can work on, obviously. Or did you break up with her because you needed space? You felt like she was too clingy? Did you break up because y'all are too far away from each other and it wasn't working out? Like, is it repairable or reparable? I don't know. Can the reason be fixed? Can it? Most of the time, yeah. If you love someone, it can be. But if you personally deeply feel like you won't be able to just get over this feeling, and like, I feel like you always know in your gut if you made the right decision or not, but sometimes like people are making these decisions very like foggy minded, and they can't really see straight. But why did y'all break up? After you realize that, look at how long it's been. If it's been some time, you know, it's one thing if you like it's been 2 weeks since y'all have been broken up, and then it's one thing if it's been like a year. After like a substantial amount of time where like you for the most part got over this person, or you are at least seeing other people, dating other people, but then you still like think, hey, you know, I really wish that could have worked out, you know, I really wish we wouldn't have broken. Like if you still have those feelings of hope, then that's like a really good thing. If it's like, oh, I'm single, I can't find anyone new, all my Tinder matches suck, quarantine has me like in my feels, like if it's for selfish reasons, then don't get her back, okay? And I know right now I'm saying, like, I'm giving you instances of if you should or if you shouldn't, and I'll get into like the how in a minute, just be patient. Yeah, just look at your reasons. Is it selfish or is it not? A lot of the times, like, a breakup is just what's better, and it's normal to feel those feelings of withdrawal and regret, but ultimately, like, breakups aren't supposed to be easy, and if they were, then there'd be like almost a complete turnaround of couples on the planet right now. But how should you get her back if you think that you made a mistake? So whether or not you think you made a mistake, I just gave you that knowledge to like compute in your head if you did or not, or if you're just doing it for your own selfish reasons. And you have to be honest with yourself when making that decision, because if not, you need to respect this girl. Like if you dated her, you obviously have a love for her and you owe her that respect. So if you respect this girl, you owe it to her to not play with her feelings by going back and forth, because that is detrimental to a person. Like that will break a person in ways that you don't even know. Sometimes it's easier just to break up with them and go, you know, than it is to just go back and forth, because then like she gets her hopes up, she gets crushed, she develops trust issues, she takes those out on her future partners in years to come. Like it really is destructive. So just really think about this decision, not just from your point of view, but from hers. So if after all this thinking, you've decided that yes, I want her back, how do I do it? First, look at how she's doing. Most of the time, it depends on your age category and like everything, but if a girl's like acting out, and I feel like this applies to a lot of age categories, that most of the time, or I guess some of the time, when like a guy breaks up with the girl will go on like this party spree. And this isn't like for all girls, I need to comment on that before y'all start attacking me, but most girls, or I guess a majority of girls, will, you know, they'll start going out more, drinking more, doing all this, but they'll make it clear that they're doing that in front of you. So like if they block and delete you off of everything, then I would just back off, you know. I would just like, because it takes a lot for a girl to do that, at least for me, and for other girls that I know. Like normally, a metaphor that I gave in my last video was they'll close all the doors, but they'll leave a window open. So like they'll block you, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, but they'll leave you unblocked in like on your phone, like phone number. They won't block your phone number, or like they'll leave you unblocked on Facebook. Like they'll always leave like a window just so you can see how they're doing. But if they've completely blocked you, I would not try to get her back right now. Either blocking, and it all depends on how she processes these feelings. You know, so many girls deal with breakups so differently. Some of them, they'll either say like, oh dang, I need to get him back and I'm willing to do what it takes for him to want me. So they'll play hard to get, they'll do radio silence, they'll do no communication, they'll do all these things to make it seem like they're moving on. But other times, like if the girl is more upfront with her emotions, she'll be like, screw it, you know, this is gonna hurt, but it's all or nothing. Then she'll actually block you and get a move on with her life, instead of putting her life kind of on hold to try to like play this game of like, you broke up with me, let me show you what you're missing, or like, let me play hard to get, let me show you that I'm so litty titty without you. Like instead of like doing all this stuff to like prove that she's like moving on, she'll actually like move on. Like she'll close the doors, the windows, everything, and she'll just go. So if she's that's the kind of girl that you're dealing with, I would kind of buckle down and just get ready to accept that she might be the kind of girl who doesn't let a guy come back after he dumps her. And there are girls out there like that, and those are the ones that you don't want to lose. But if you're watching this video, sounds like it's too late. Sorry about that. However, never stop trying for the people that you love. But if you do still see like some of her stuff online, it could be because either she genuinely is trying to move on, or like she's not moving on at all. And like I said, this depends on the girl. This depends on how long y'all were together. This depends on why you broke up. From all the girls that I know, a lot of them, like, there's one of them who, she was with her boyfriend for 5 years, and they were on again, off again quite a bit, but they, like, finally broke up, like, a month or two ago, and she already has a new boyfriend. And the same thing goes for my another girl that I know. I went to school with her. She was engaged, and as soon as they broke up, you know, they went their separate ways, and now she has a new boyfriend, and it's only been a couple months. So I know a bunch of girls, like, or a couple girls like that, actually, who are engaged, and now they're dating new boys. Like, I feel like all the girls that I know that have gotten out of relationships, they've gotten new relationships sooner than the boys. Like, the boys have seemed to stay single longer, but that's just, like, my own personal statistics. That probably isn't, like, statistically true, but from my point of view, it is. But it just, like, I feel like when a girl, it's just, like, how girls cope with their emotions. Like, we are physical beings. We, like, you know, the feelings of, like, being safe, being protected, being reassured. We like male companionship, if that makes sense. Like, if our boyfriend broke up with us, then most of the time girls are going to find someone who makes us feel the same way that you did. It might not be as emotionally, like, satisfactual, like, we won't have the same, like, connection with them as we did with you, but we'll still have the physical part. Like, we'll still have, like, the cuddling and everything else that, you know, you offered us. So and then eventually, like, the girl most of the time ends up developing feelings for someone, which turns into a relationship. And then she never really, like, she doesn't traditionally move on, because normally I feel like when I imagine traditionally moving on, it doesn't involve, like, another guy helping you. It's just, like, you on your own. That's what I did for my first, like, serious breakup. I was like, I'm just gonna do this on my own, because it's gonna be the best outcome, which is true. If you choose to move on your own without the help of aides or guys, and when I say aides, I don't mean, like, the disease. Oh my god, I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, aides, like, help, male aid, like, with that, yeah, you know what I mean. Moving on, like, on your own independently is, in my opinion, better, because it results for a stronger outcome, a more independent you learn how to process your feelings, and you really get to learn to see your strengths, and you bond with yourself. So I feel like that's a lot of the time what girls do, or what they don't do. They'll just, like, go off and find a guy, or they'll do what they need to. But there are those girls who challenge themselves, and they try to do this independently. Or they'll still, like, go out and meet guys and just not, like, show you. You know, they'll still keep you blocked on everything. It really just depends on, like, who the person is. But if you really do think that if you want her back, you have to try to, like, get to her before she reaches that point. And this is something that was consistent in my old video. So there is a time where a girl kind of just puts her foot down, but it's not as exclamatory. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. I don't know if I'm saying any of my words right. It's not, like, as boom, one and done as I was making it out to be in my last video. It could be, like, a process. Like, a girl can kind of say, okay, like, I'm actually getting over him a few times before she actually does. So you need to try to reach her before that time comes around. So if she's, like, hitting you up all the time, then obviously it might be easier for you to get her back. But if she's not contacting you at all, I would take that as a sign to respect her space, because this is her healing method. Like, she is healing from the sadness that you put on her, you know? So don't try to take away her relationship and now take away her silent healing period. You know, leave her something to herself, for the love of God. So I would just, like, try once, you know, just try once, whether it's, like, going to her house, to her job, maybe not her job, I would make it more personal, sending her a text or a letter. Like, I know girls love handwritten letters and notes. I do. I'm very old-fashioned that kind of way. But I would just try one more time. I would make it clear that I know that I'm impeding on their personal privacy space. I'll be like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I know that right now you're probably taking time for yourself, and I'm the one to blame for that. Like, make it clear that you're the reason why this is happening. However, I've had like time to reflect on things, and don't be like, I want you back, I want you to take me back, I want, like, don't say I. Be like, where was I getting with that? Make it just like, I think that we were so good for each other and so healthy for each other, and I didn't really see that until we were split up, or I didn't realize how good you were for me. Like, you can still use like I think or I realize, but don't just say I want you back, I need you back, I miss you. You can like still use those, but like, this isn't about you. This isn't about what you want. This is about you coming to a realization, a well thought out realization that you better have thought long and hard about before coming to this point. And if you don't, then I'm going to be very upset, because like I said, this letter, this message, this note, this visit should have been very well thought out, very well planned. If not, you're a jerk. I take that back. Just say like, I never realized like what a contribution you were to my life, and like everything that you did for me until I was left without it. I've never written a letter to a girl asking her to take me back, so I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to say. But I just know what I would want to hear. Like, instead of saying like you want her back, just give her reasons, or don't give her reasons, just make it clear to her that you appreciate what you did have. Don't say I want you back. Say the relationship that we built has done so much for me in ways that you won't even know. And even if you want to like kind of give a little cliffhanger and be like, maybe I won't know like what our future holds, maybe this is the end. However, I just wanted to put myself out there one more final time that like I really do want to thank you for all the memories. Like, instead of saying like, okay, thank you for reading this, take me back, bye, say, okay, well, I'm gonna give you a choice, and like kind of let her make that decision, if she wants to do it or not, if she wants to take you back or not, because it is a two-person decision. Like, you took away the relationship, which was completely under your power and your authority. Now, it shouldn't be under your power and your authority to restore that relationship. That's not your job. It's both of y'all's. Because at this point, she's probably feeling so powerless, so defeated, so upset, that you want to give her some of that feeling of power back. Like, make her realize that bringing the relationship back is going to be a big part of her decision making. Like, give her a job to do. And I know for me, if I got a letter saying take me back, I'd be like, boy, bye. But if it was like, you know, we really had something so great, we made so many friends together, like we built up such a good community, like everything that we did, like I'd be like, you know what, yeah, you're right. And like I said, try to like get, I don't know, it depends. So if you do this right off the bat, she can either more likely say yes because she's lonely too, or she'll more likely say no because she's trying to make you squirm like a little longer. It really just depends on a number of things, and that's why I'm leaving this video so open-ended, because I want you to reach out to me and say, hey, this is my situation. That way I can better gear it. Because if I go through all the possible circumstances, like A through Z, like A is if you left her and she's kind of like dropping you hints, but for the most part you can't really tell, like you can't read her vibes, and B is if there's a different situation, I don't have time to sit down and give you every explanation. But my whole point of this video is that this should be a very two-person thing. You should keep her in the forefront of your mind, not in a selfish way, but in a what's best for her way. Are you what's best for her? Is this relationship what's best for her? Are you holding her back? Are you impeding on her success, on her relationships with other people? Like, are you stunting her growth? Like, if you are, then it's not good if you get her back. However, if you honestly think that you can contribute to her life in a more meaningful way, then yes, try it. But like, this shouldn't be a selfish decision. Like, oh, I need you back because I miss you and I'm too lazy to go through the breakup process. So I want you to like just like take me away from having to make that choice. Like, if that's what it is, then get out of here. It should just totally be like, I'm what's best for you, you're what's best for me. I know that together we can achieve so many things. And I feel like the more open you are with this, and the more power you give her, the more successful the outcome is going to be. And if you need a promise to make changes too, like if y'all broke up because of like some things that weren't changing, you need to, instead of trying to go back to the old relationship, how about building a new one? Because y'all broke up because of these reasons that caused like wear and tear in your relationship. So what's gonna stop y'all from having these same problems in your new potential relationship? Did she get mad at you because you didn't keep her in the loop enough? Because you kept texting this other girl, like even in a non-flirty, like, or were there issues? Like, if so, you better get ready to change them before asking for her back. Like, this should be a very inflective like process for you. It shouldn't just be like off the whim, like, dang it, like I hate this feeling, like I need her back, like screw this, like I'm not gonna learn the feelings of breaking up and growing stronger and closer to myself because I'm too lazy to have to undergo such a terrible feeling. Like, listen, that feeling, that loneliness, that regret, that guilt, it's gonna come inevitably. That is it. That's a promise. Even like, for example, I know this guy, he got married to his first girlfriend, so he obviously never felt those feelings, but he will feel them in other ways, from his job, family. Like, something is going to give you that huge feeling of just like worthlessness, and it's probably going to happen multiple times. But if you're afraid of experiencing that in your romantic relationship, don't be, because it's going to come. And if you think now is your time, just let it happen. Just be like, yeah, you're right, you know, the breakup was a good decision, and instead of just trying to run away from these feelings, I'm just going to let them consume me. That way, whenever I'm done and I'm out on the other side, I'll be ready for a new happy relationship, and I won't be scared of breaking up because I'll already be stronger and more able to handle such strong feelings. It really is a good thing to go through, you know, a breakup, and not necessarily the guilt, but I feel like guilt is a really good thing because it makes us really rethink our processes and evaluate how we deal with certain feelings and emotions. So that's pretty much my video. I'm trying not to hit over 30 minutes because then we run into upload problems. So if you do have a request, please message me. I know I cut out a lot of the details from my first video, but that's because I feel like I was getting a lot of hopes up in my first video, and I'm really curious to see how all the people in my comments are doing now, if they got her back or not. If you were a part of that bunch who commented, I'm gonna get her back, please message me and let me know how it worked. If it didn't, I'm sorry. I was only 18. I'm not a psychologist, a psychotherapist, anything. I'm just a chick on the internet. So I'm gonna put my social media handles down below. Also, if you're planning to do this while quarantining, then like maybe don't do that because like Corona. So alright, thank you for watching. Bye guys.